Dr. Claude Anderson has a book called Powernomics, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
I couldn't help but to note, I have not purchased that book yet, and I have not purchased your recent book either, not as of yet. I point that out to say this. When you are talking about spirituality before religions, I mean, that's spiritualnomics. And then Dr. Claude Anderson came out with Powernomics. I mean, this is the world that we're living in right now. This is spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're dealing with right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, Philippe Matthews, as you know, has the book Digitalnomics.
That's right. Say that.
And so it all works out, brother. It all comes full circle with the work that we're doing.
Yes.
And like as we began the show, even though I try to stay in the background, the idea is that when you are called forward by the energy of the community and by the energy of what's going on, because like I tell you, I was doing a certain amount of work. And the blessing is that I've always been down. You call me, you say, brother, I have a show. Would you be interested in coming on? We worked it out. So here we are right now.
Yes.
This is the way I've always been. Brother Sarnetta did the same thing. I can go back years and people ask, will you come on? When social media first started in the mid-'90s, I was doing presentations in various community centers, and different people would invite me out to speak. And at that time, brother, you deal in audio cassette right now. Okay, CD, wasn't nobody even understanding what CD was. So you're dealing with audio cassette. And then what happened after that, it became video cassette. And then what happened after that, video cassette and audio cassette became CD and DVD. And what people started doing was to convert the video cassettes onto DVD and also audio cassettes onto not just CD, but there was a way that you could get, once YouTube started and all the other media started, that's when they started putting the things up on YouTube and places like that. That is where Brother Tariq Nasheed began to see the speakers that were out there doing this work, when most of us were not even aware. Dr. Clark, you could go on YouTube and download Dr. Clark. Dr. Clark joined the Ancestors in July of 1998, July 16th to be exact, a day I will always remember. He never lived to know how popular he became on social media, because YouTube and all these, they were beginnings, but it wasn't something that we as a community was aware of. So Dr. Clark never saw how popular he has become, because he had already joined the Ancestors before social media. I played in the background. I always was in the background. I tried to be in the background. I did the work, but I was in the background. Whatever anybody asked me to do, I would do. There was a sister that was a student of mine that graduated, and she went on to do great things. But one of the things she did is she partnered with a brother that was doing a film called Stomping on the Devil's Head. And she had remembered in my class, because she was a college student of mine, I taught a part on what made African hair curly. And I did an entire biological thing on the hair follicle, the role that heat and cold play on the hair follicle, and the development of the oils in the scalp. I mean, I did a whole thing with them, because you want to call kinky hair, nappy hair, you have to understand what you're talking about. What is kinky hair? You talk about it, you say it's bad. When I say you, I mean people who have the impression that black hair is bad hair. But what is it? And so I did an entire class. So sister was teaming up with this brother that wanted to do an expose on black hair. And they asked me if I would do the scientific aspect of curly hair, kinky hair, nappy hair, whatever. I don't have a problem with any of those words. They apply, and they are positive words to me. If it's a negative word in someone else's mind, well, I guess that's a personal problem. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't got no problem with kinky or nappy hair, because those are terms that come deep within an understanding of what it is that you're dealing with as a scientific principle. Well, so I do my part in the film. This is like in 2010, the early part of 2010. And all of a sudden, the film is about to be released, but then Chris Rock comes out with his film Good Hair. And they have to shelve the film Stomping on the Devil's Head, because once he did that and it became humorous, it would have almost seemed like the people who did this film were trying to play off of Chris Rock's success in his movie. So they can't. Right. It didn't come out the way they thought it would. Okay. Now, at the same time, just as I finished this film, I get a call from the associate producer that works with Tariq Nasheed. And he says, I just want to tell you that we've been watching your work. And you know, the executive producer of a documentary, Tariq Nasheed, would like to invite you to be a part of a film he's doing titled Hidden Colors. I said, okay, sure. Like I did with Stomping on the Devil's Head, like I did with Sonetta, like I've done with so many other folk, including yourself. I'm down for anything. Anything that'll get the word out to the people, I'm down for. I just don't want to be in front, but I don't like talking about it. But they come to I'm teaching a class in Harlem in my school I call Per Unc, House of Life. And they come up in December of 2010. When you see Hidden Colors 1, you're in my classroom. And behind the camera are my students, the community, the Harlem community. Got some folk from Brooklyn there, and Queens and the Bronx. And there are people behind the cameras, because I said, well, what better place to film than in my classroom? And so when you're watching Hidden Colors 1, you're actually in my classroom, where I invited Tariq and his camera team. I'm saying all of this because when Hidden Colors was premiered in April of 2011, Tariq invited me to go to the premiere, and he also asked if I could represent the film in the New York premiere. It showed twice in one day. And so I said, sure. And so I'm running late because I'm doing a presentation down in Brooklyn with my brother Mfudishi Jehuti. I don't know if you all know this, but you need to know that brother. That brother's powerful. And so he and I are doing something on Magical Egypt. In fact, it's up on YouTube. If you check it out, it's called Magical Egypt.
Magical Egypt.
Yes, it's called Magical Egypt, and it's with brother Mfudishi Jehuti and myself. We co-presented that day. But I said to them, I have to go first because there is a film being premiered and I need to get down there on time. Okay, as things would happen, we start chopping it up. We start talking. I'm doing my presentation. Then after my part is over, they stop to give, time for the vendors to be able to do what they got to do. They gives me a chance to sell some of my DVDs and things like that. But at the same time, I got in the back of my mind, I got to get up out of here because I got to get down to the movie house. But as things happen, I'm on Africa time, and I get it to the movie house about 25 minutes into the movie. And the first thing that hits me, man, is that the place is standing room only. And I'm shocked. And then when I see myself, see, you have to understand, this is the first I've ever seen my head that big. I've never seen myself like that large before on a movie.
Brother. I love you, brother. I love you, brother.
So I'm fascinated with the fact, whoa, look at that. This is the first time I'm seeing myself like this. Okay, so after the movie, I step outside. Okay, after the second premiere, it's standing room only also. And again, this time I get to see the whole film. But when I get outside, there's some young brothers come up on me because Tariq Nasheed had posted Hidden Colors, the premiere and the release of Hidden Colors on World Star Hip Hop. Genius move. But he brought people in the movie house that thought this was going to be about Nicki Minaj and Drake and Lil Wayne and whatnot. Because they said, I mean, this is on World Star Hip Hop, and they're saying Hidden Colors. They think this is like a rap kind of thing, that is right for their generation. So when they come out, they had no idea, brother. And for some of us who have been in this knowledge, nothing new was said, but it's the way Tariq put it together that was outstanding. But for those that knew nothing of this information, didn't know anything about Africans in Europe, Africans in America, Africans in Asia, had never seen those concepts before, this blew those young people's minds.
Mine too, when I first saw the series.
Oh, man. Yes. It came at a divine time, brother. Hidden Colors came at a divine time. Like I say, I've been doing this. I did my first presentation in 1986. And I've seen the change since 2011. Massive change. I see young people. I see, there was a time I did presentation, everybody's 50 and plus. Has its place, but I didn't see a lot of young people. But after Hidden Colors, I start seeing families coming. I see daddy, mommy, and baby and stroller coming. I see daddy with baby coming. I see daddy with young son coming. I see mommy with daughter and son coming. There's a lot of different combinations now, but I'm seeing a lot more young people coming to these presentations. And it's not just me, because I asked the other presenters, is this happening with you? And it's happening with them too. There is something happening. I'm calling it a quickening or quick awakening.
Yes,
but
I like that.
What I did is I went home realizing that some of the young people were overwhelmed with this because they were asking me, can you give me a book I can read about this? Can you just point me in the right direction to learn more about this? He said, man, I thought this was going to be about rap. I didn't know this was going to be about this. I ain't never heard nothing like this before. And so, I said, okay, now we got to do something. So I went home and I brought all my materials together, and I created an outline, a historical outline, because Dr. Clark always told me, always be on your way to your destination. Always keep in mind, you may not get there. Frankly, I may not live to get there. Who knows? Today mine, tomorrow promises no one. He said, if you write the proper roadmap, you may not get there. But if the roadmap is good and clear, those that come behind you can continue on your journey to get to your destination. And I've always remembered that.
We as a people will get there. We as a people will get their promised land. Yes.
That's right. You say, but we got to leave an outline for our young people who come behind us. Whatever it is that you're doing in life, make me no difference if you FedEx, if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, computer analyst, you're a teacher, whatever you are, leave a roadmap so that those that come behind you can learn from the elder who has gone through it. And so I wrote this study guide. It's 44 pages. It's up on my website, KabaKamene.com. It's free. It's the most valuable thing that I could give to a person. I always believed that the most valuable thing that you offer the society should be free. You can make money in other ways, but just one valuable thing. If you were to leave a signature mark, a heraldic emblem on who you are, that should be free. and available to everyone, no matter.